Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's section of reads. This should be on the YouTube channel James13 Wicca in case you're seeing it somewhere else. The dice and decks I'm using are listed below. Other than that, if you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's also below. Other than that, let's go ahead and get into your choice. Hello, Aries. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Aries? Aries. Okay. You're looking for a raise? Money raise? Why not? Why not? Don't be starting with me. What's going on over there? Oh. Okay. But not really? Okay. Okay. For a minute there, I was like, are we going to put out the whole deck or what? What's going on? What's going on? What is that card? So, whatever this is, and I know I said Aries, so this could be a business thing, doesn't have to be. Sometimes it's not just having a raise, like in a business sense. Sometimes we want improvement, like you can refer to an improvement as a raise. So we're looking for improvement here. Could be more money, can be, whatever. I just keep getting like it's passing me by. I feel like the current situation has kind of been stuck for a while. And I'm just kind of like, I'm not happy about it, but for whatever reason, I feel like this is where I am for right now. This reminds me, I don't remember the total story about it, but like this one lady, she was at this business for a while, for a few years. And they weren't really giving her raises, and it wasn't really nice. But she was also in a position where she didn't really have options that were going to pay better, that she actually was willing to do. How's that? So it's almost like she was kind of stuck, or she felt that way, and it's almost like they knew it. And that might seem similar here, where it's kind of like I'm not really getting extra here, but it's almost like they know that they don't have to, so they're not. This story is about evolution and how to get the evolution. So if this is hitting, it's not meant to drag you down. It's meant to be. It's just like honing it in. This is what we're dealing with. If that's what you're dealing with, this is what we're going into, and we're going to give ideas here, ideas that may not seem readily available to you. Maybe this is a different way of looking at things. There's inconsistency and instability with this situation. I don't like these two cards together. It's not that bad. I just don't like it. If you're looking for improvement, these two cards together are not the best. Because I get like, it's almost like we go 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 3 steps forward, 4 steps back. I just feel like it's almost like it's a dance. It's like if you're starting at 0, it's like 2 ahead, 1 back, 3 ahead, 4 back, so I'm back at 0 again. 3 ahead, 4 back again. Like, wait a minute, now I'm behind. All right, 2 ahead, 1 back. Okay, here we're back at 0 again. It feels like a dance. Like I never really make progress, and that's what this keeps feeling like. It's like anything that starts showing like potential or this could get better. It's like, oh yeah, this could go good for you. Do this. Oh, we like that. We like that. Okay, the promotion. Well, not just yet. We have to wait for the year end to happen. That's going to be another X amount of months. It's kind of like, well, wait a minute. You said you liked that. You like it now. So what do I have to keep, appeasing you for the next X amount of months before I get what I want? Like, what's going on here? If I keep doing that, am I guaranteed I'm going to get that? I can't guarantee you anything. Blah, 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 blah. This is like the Wheel of Fortune and the Knight of Pentacles. I don't like these two cards together. This is not really compatible energy. It's kind of like, it's consistent when it serves somebody else. It's inconsistent when it serves somebody else. It's consistent when it serves somebody else. I don't like it. But they're also putting at the bottom of this, kind of like, keep in mind, the purpose of this reading is to help you get what you want. I feel like if this reading is hitting, it hasn't been the most enjoyable trip anyway. And they're just trying to set the stage, and they're just trying to acknowledge, yeah, it's been a little bit ridiculous. We just want to make sure we're on the same page and that we're hitting this correctly and this makes sense, like if this is your reading or not. But remember, this is meant to bring this to where you need it to and give you ideas or possibilities. The current energy, if it's hitting, which we haven't finished with yet, you're dealing with it the best you can. I feel like I'm not happy with it. You got the Five of Cups, the Four of Cups, and you got the High Priestess saying, I don't really like what's going on here, but I got to do what I got to do, and I'm going to do what I need to do. It reminds me, I keep seeing somebody like keeping a certain job because maybe the benefits are what works for my life, maybe what works for you and your family. And you're like, I can't be just going off and trying something new right now. I worked here long enough to where I'm getting some good benefits, and I need to keep these benefits for now. So for now, I'm making it work. I don't completely like or feel like this is fair, but I need to keep what I have right now. So for right now, this is what I'm going to be doing. Not the worst, not the best. Doing well, though. Okay, so I want this to come back in a little bit because I feel like this period of like consistent inconsistency. I feel like it's only consistent when it serves somebody else, and it really aggravates me. But I keep getting like this is going to keep popping in for a little while longer. And they're like, just keep that in mind. If this is a business thing, it could be connected to certain leadership that may be like a couple steps above what you're used to dealing with. So it may not even be something you can argue against because the people you work with or the people that they even work with are not the people in control of this. It may be people higher up than that, which you probably don't have any, if any influence with anyway. But they're saying, hold on, because again, we're trying to get this to where you need it to go. I just feel like I'm making it sound like a really like, I'm not trying to do that. They're just trying to be honest about what you're going to see, what you're going to encounter. So that way, if it looks like there's setbacks, it's kind of like, well, it's not enjoyable, but it's not really a setback. It's just things are still evolving behind the scenes. There's going to be a point where you're going to have this feeling like maybe it's time I get out of here. Maybe if I go somewhere else and start a new thing, this is kind of like, I keep seeing the baby in this one. Like, when I see the baby in this card, it makes me feel like we're starting something new or we're considering starting something new. But when we start with a baby, especially if you're going to use a baby as an analogy for a job, babies can't feed themselves. They can't change themselves. They can't do hardly anything. Like, newborns can't do anything. And then how many years is it before a child can start really taking care of themselves a little bit? I don't know. I don't know. But I'm thinking even by 2, there's like, I don't feel like they really, like maybe they can do very minimal things like pick up their own toys, hopefully. But like they're not going to go into the kitchen and make their own breakfast, I would assume. I mean, at 2 years old, I don't think they're strong enough to usually open up the refrigerator to get the milk, let alone much anything else. I'm just saying. So they're saying this is kind of like before you make that decision, realize if you start thinking about going somewhere else, you're starting at the baby status again. And maybe that's not the best idea. There's other possibilities here. Because they're saying, this card is backing it up too, by the way. So this card came in. They're saying this energy is taking you further away from where you want to actually be. It may seem good in the moment. There may be a very alluring or very enticing offer around you. But they're saying, remember, you're kind of starting at square one. Be sure you want to do that before you do that. Another option, right? Which is interesting. I'm going to do the dice on this in a second because this one card is questionable. Is addressing that this isn't right. What's going on here is not right. But realizing for right now there's benefits here I still want. Why? Empress card comes in again on the dice, and then the Five of Cups along with the new beginnings. I feel like I need to look deeper in the current situation. Is there evolution going on deeper in the machine? Are other things starting to change? You're ready to go. they're kind of saying this isn't a good time for you to go. But the more I keep looking at this, they're saying you're looking to change and go do something else. Are there other things going on deeper in this machine that have already started showing signs of change? And it may be like, it may start off like, well, I see change, but I don't see how that change is helping me right now. But they're saying this change might be creating a landslide. And if this landslide happens, this could create a whole evolution. Whatever's going on now, there's something behind the scenes that's not compatible to the situation. The Devil card is here, which talks about boundaries. It doesn't have to be a bad card, but I keep getting like something is out of balance with this Devil card. I feel like it's like any card. Sometimes it just doesn't fit what else is going on in the situation. It's just not appropriate. And when that happens, things start to change. Yeah, they came out with Two of Pentacles reversed, and the Empress came in again, except like this way. I keep getting something behind the scenes is changing because there's been an imbalance that has grown out of control. This is kind of like if I feel like I say this with a few different readings. You're Aries. I don't know the last time I said this with Aries, but it doesn't matter what sign you are. The energy is the energy. It's where you take it, right? No sign is good. No sign is bad. It's literally where that person is taking their natural attributes. This energy is making me feel like it's gotten a little bit on the selfish side, a little bit on the self-serving, and it's gone so far out of balance that now the repercussions are about to start. Maybe not for you directly, but for other people. And there's an evolution and a change that's starting to happen. Look deeper into the machine. Is this starting to happen? Are things just starting to change, especially if it's a corporate situation? One of the telltale signs is like all of a sudden there's higher up positions that seem to be changing. You know, when they do, because I've seen this with certain different companies where they don't like to fire people, but they'll change their position to a lateral move, and all of a sudden their responsibilities are different. It's a little bit telltale sign that somebody did something they weren't supposed to. So since they can't handle the current responsibilities, instead of saying, oh, we didn't like how this person was doing that, they're just making it look like they changed their responsibilities as if nothing was wrong. But the reason they changed their responsibilities is because something was wrong. There's a whole change going on here. Keep looking deeper into the machine. I know this is going to be good when it happens, but it's also kind of like, for Aries, I just feel like, they're saying, see it for what it is. Realize that there's changes going on. There's a new structure. There's a new structure happening, but it's weird because it just feels like we're changing players at first. It feels like if this is a business thing, like take it with a grain of salt, we're changing players, and it almost seems like this machine is still working the same way it was, but I keep getting like it's not. Once we start changing players around, that's setting this up for a different evolution later. And whatever's going on here, it's going to look like it's not going to change. I keep getting it's going to look like it's not going to change with these two cards. But I noticed right after this, the next card coming in, and there's more cards after this because I put out half the deck, there's going to be no addressing the change. There's just going to be noticing that things are different. Things are just going to change, but I don't think we're getting explanations. How do I explain this? It's almost like changing like when dinner is and what the diet is. It's almost like when somebody was like, you know, maybe they were eating the carnivore diet. And they were eating at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That dinner was 4 o'clock every afternoon, and it was the carnivore diet. Say it just for argument's sake. There's not going to be any addressing that. All of a sudden, it's like 5:30, 6 o'clock. It's been moved back to, very gradually been moved back to there. It's not as rigid, like we have to eat right at 4. It's like more fluid now. In this time frame is when we usually eat now. And it's not carnivore anymore. Now we're putting other stuff in there. We're putting other, it's more of a herbivore diet. And it's like, it's not really being addressed. Nobody's really saying anything. Nobody's saying, oh, we've decided not to do that anymore. We're going to do this now. I don't feel like it's being addressed like that. It's just you're noticing, you're seeing the change. I I didn't say it out loud, but I'm like, should Aries address this? And they're saying if you have to address it very little, minimally, this situation will be more, I want to say conducive, compatible, if you just kind of keep it minimal. Whatever, if you have to say something, then you have to try to keep it diplomatic, try to keep it minimal. There could be very uncomfortable energy coming your way if you highlight that you're seeing something that they don't want people to pay attention to. You don't need that backlash. The change is happening either way. Also, like, this reminds me of corporate America very much. You know when people ask questions and you know full well they're not going to get that answer? And then somebody will ask something, there'll be a group of people talking with management, like one of those meetings, and you know they're not going to tell you, like, you know, are we going to, are there going to be layoffs? And, like, you know they're not going to tell you because other people have been asking that right along. But instead of, like, saying no, they talk about it in circles. I just feel like when they have to do that, they get very uncomfortable, and the people asking those type of questions, they notice, and those people can end up getting targeted. You don't need that, especially if it's not going to make a difference, if you're not going to get the answer you need, if you're just going to get the runaround anyway. Do yourself a favor, don't even bother. Play it close to your chest, pay attention, make sure you see what's going on. Don't ask questions that aren't going to help you. That's what do what you think is right, but I'm getting, don't ask questions that aren't going to actually help you. This is when things finally evolve where they're supposed to. Like, out of the blue, it feels like out of the blue, things all of a sudden evolve where they're supposed to for you. And things are all of a sudden where they should be, where they should have been. I just want to be fair about this because I keep seeing it this way. So it's almost like if you were level 5 and you're like, at this point, I should be level 8 or level 9. I'm not saying you're going to jump to level 9. I'm saying if you're level 5, you're finally going to move to 6, and then there should be progression showing where at some point you will be moving to 7. It should get back in that realm. Not where you're just going to jump right up to 9, because that's where you should be. It's kind of like, all right, I've been at 5 for a long time, and then all of a sudden it's like, now I'm 6. Oh, good. I mean, I should be 9, but at least we're moving. And then there's some type of like light at the end of the tunnel, and this is when you can expect to move to 7 if you do this stuff, and it works out that way. Things start going where they should. This energy, whatever's changing here, it wants to get along, but it also wants to keep moving. Keep that in mind. So this is kind of why I brought up that, like, don't ask questions that aren't going to actually help you. Because if you kind of let things be peaceful and you just kind of flow with it, this energy wants to get along. And if I feel like it's going to know that you're kind of not asking questions that you could ask, I feel like this energy knows that. And if you're playing it that way, I feel like this goes a lot smoother for you. This energy wants to get along with you. So it's almost like a bargaining chip if you don't ask the questions that are uncomfortable, because I feel like they know. They're like, that you could. And if you're not, they're feeling as long as they have you going the direction you want to go, you will keep not asking those questions, and they want to keep you happy with that. That makes things easier for them, which can make things easier for you. This is very much unspoken, by the way. I don't feel like we're having a sit down saying, I'm not going to ask that question as long as you keep helping me. I don't feel like we're having one of those. It's kind of like an unsaid something. And those are the final 2 cards. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.